Westbrook Wants Out. The article, because I found it, is ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, reported earlier Wednesday that Westbrook and James Harden had shared their concerns about the direction of the franchise under new head coach Stephen Silas and newly promoted GM Raphael Stone. That's what I mentioned earlier, and I was like, I saw that, and I was like, oh, that could wait till tomorrow. Meanwhile, Harden reportedly remains committed to Houston. Shams put out a tweet that says, Houston's James Harden remains committed to the Rockets and is locked in for the season, sources tell at Kelly Iko, NBA, and me. Westbrook has informed team officials that he has been uneasy about the team's accountability and culture and has a desire to return to his prior floor general role in OKC, according to The Athletic. The 31-year-old has 30 years of $132.6 million remaining on his contract. Rockets acquired him in the CP3 trade with the Thunder. And it says, according to this offseason, trade rumors have flown involving Westbrook. Blog boy Kevin O'Connor reported that the Clippers, Knicks are among the teams interested. Dave, is Westbrook going to get moved from the Rockets this offseason?
I mean, Shams himself said it at 6:11 p.m. Okay. Russell Westbrook wants out of Houston.
Wants out. Will he get it? Will he get his wish?
I think so.
Okay.
I think this is a situation that is all about Russ getting out. I think that he does, because you don't want an unhappy superstar, do you? Nobody likes unhappy superstars.
It's not that I didn't think the Harden-Westbrook pairing would work in general. No.
It sort of did, though. It sort of did.
It's not going to win a chance. Like, it ain't going to win the ultimate goal. I don't think so. I don't think so. Rocket stand.
Put down the Trump hands, okay?
Rocket stand.
Put down the Trump hands. Fucking don't bust out the Trump hands.
Guys, we got to make the Rockets great again. Got to make the Rockets great again. Never going to win. Russell Westbrook is not good.
We're never going to win.
Oh, dude, it was rigged. Should have beat the Warriors. It was rigged. James Harden made that three. It was rigged.
I hate you. Again, this is why the offseason is my Christmas, Ricky. You're trying to tell me that the NFL has this kind of juiciness
NFL has shit that drops like this.
Just a little juicy.
Just shit never gets done.
You don't have top 10 players just going back to back and be like, yeah, I want out of this shit. Like I know that we just went to the Western Conference playoffs pretty deep and we had chance, but fuck this place. They just emptied out our buddies in the front office. They got rid of our head coach. I heard the comments earlier today that Harden is locked in. He says he would prefer to play on a team like Miami, the Sixers, or there was a third team.
Westbrook's just a good, I'm sorry, Harden's just a good team guy.
Yeah,
he says the right thing.
The Sixers and the Heat. He's like, I'd prefer to play on one of those teams if I wasn't here, though. Just gonna float that out there to those teams. Yeah. Why not? And yeah, obviously Russell Westbrook also wants out. So this is awesome. This is insane.
The Knicks have to jump all over this. If I'm being, the Knicks are crazy
Discord.
If they don't.
This is why you guys have to jump in our Discord. If you haven't yet, you there.
Greatest community on the internet, Dave. Greatest community on the internet.
100% called this shit. This is the insiders, man. Probably trademarked already. Sorry. But Russell Westbrook on the Knicks. What would it take? What does it mean? Obviously, RJ Hampton. I asked earlier, and we have several Knicks fans in Discord. Who behave in now I'm taking shots I shouldn't be.
So I actually have two.
RJ off the board apparently, but I think that as a Knicks fan, you have to accept that getting someone like Russell Westbrook, no one can be truly off limits. I think you have to be willing to move heaven and earth to get a superstar in New York to help this team out, because that is what it is. That's what you did for Carmelo Anthony. Whether it was the right move or the wrong move, you got a superstar in New York, and that's what they're going to do again here.
Yeah. So there are two trades that I pulled up that's on Clutch Points. Has two trades. One of them is a lukewarm one for me, and that is Russ goes to the Knicks. The Knicks give up Kevin Knox, a 2020 and a 2021 first-round pick. So it's basically you get 2 firsts. In this deal, it's probably the 6th for this year's draft that they're getting. And around the Rockets, I'm kind of lukewarm on that. It's the second one that gets my jimmies going. So it's still, Russ is the only thing moving. The Rockets add Frank, Kevin Knox, Dotson, a 2020 first rounder, which if I'm the Knicks, I'm saying is the 7th or 26th. And the only reason why is RJ's in the second deal. That's the thing. If I'm the Knicks, I'm trying to, and this is the question with the Knicks trade. If RJ is in the deal, because like you said, no one's off the board when you're talking about Russell Westbrook and adding him to a New York team.
As bad as the internet hates him, he is still a top player in the NBA.
New York would get clowned on if it was like, well, we could have made a deal for Russell Westbrook, but we really liked Peanut Head over here. We really liked RJ Barrett. No one's
again. Are we getting a fight over Timothy Mozgov?
Nobody is off the board. And to me, if I'm the Knicks, if RJ is in that deal, there's no way you're getting the 8th from me, because in RJ, I'm giving you a top 10 pick.
Top 3 value from last year's pick, which is arguably a stronger class than this year.
Yeah.
So I agree, but I think that it's going to take more. You said Frank,
Kevin, Dotson. So you got Knox and Dotson, Frank, RJ, and then a pick this year.
A pick this year. You're going to have to give up a future pick on top of that.
On top of that, even with that, because they had the future pick in the other one. Do they give up
Westbrook?
Do they give up a Mavs future pick?
Who has been in the G League multiple years in his NBA career. You give me Frank, who has shown that he cannot be a starting caliber point guard for multiple years. Mm-hmm. And you're giving me Devin Dotson, who is a G League quality player. Yet again, no offense to Knicks fans, who I think all three of these guys have potential. None of them have any value as far as most people are concerned. They're all reclamation projects. They're all like, can we figure out a way to coach these guys? Because clearly they didn't get it in New York. So I think the only value in that deal is really the RJ and the future picks. Mm-hmm. So you are giving up it.
But, like, so could it be Mav future picks, or would it have to be Nick picks?
It could absolutely be Mav future picks. It absolutely could be.
I mean, because they have the ammo. They have the ammo.
Look at the KP deal. You look at the Paul George deal. It's going to be very similar. Even the CP3 deal.
Yep.
Very similar as far as you're going to have to go multiple future picks to get this deal done. I think we're talking 2-3 picks. One of those might be a swap, though. But yeah, at least 2 picks, and then perhaps a swap on top of that, plus either Frank, Kevin, filler, or Randall plus filler. 100%. Like, I think you're wildly undervaluing.
I mean, I'm just throwing out what clutch points
Knicks assets
out there, because like that's right. Like, Frank hasn't been exactly what the Knicks wanted. Kevin Knox is a disappointment. Really, the only like tangible thing you're getting is RJ, because RJ is top 3 pick from last year and only had 1 year.
Looked good. He was maybe the 7th best rookie last year.
The question,
isn't bad. Again, everybody grows at their own rate.
Question from Twitch chat, though, that I think is important is Mad Rogue says, would Westbrook be a player that would attract marquee free agents to the Knicks? Dave, I'll ask you your answer, but I'm going to answer it first. No. Like, to me, it's one of those to where it's like, you couldn't make it work with the Thunder. You couldn't make it work with James Harden in Houston. I see the fit you're throwing right now. Why would any marquee free agent want to go play with Russell Westbrook? And what free agent thinks that they could win a ring with Russell Westbrook? I don't think Russell Westbrook has so the way I'm going to phrase this, he doesn't have it to win a championship. That's what I think. I think that with Russ, it's all about him. That's why, to me, I think the answer to that question is no.
I'm on the complete other side. Everything I've heard out of the locker room, everything I've heard about other superstars is that Russell Westbrook is one of the most devoted basketball players they've ever seen. He has a work ethic in line with Kobe Bryant's. He has a physical body that is in its own category. He's basically like miniature Giannis out there. Like, the way he attacks the rim, the athleticism, the drive, the pace of play, everything he does out there is him trying to win at his hardest. He comes back early from injury. He plays through shit. Obviously, his game isn't the most well-rounded game in the NBA, but like everything I've heard out of the locker room, incredibly positive about him. So it's surprising to hear that you're like, nah, people fucking hate him.
Well, I'm not saying people hate him. It's just that if I'm going to a team and I'm a coveted free agent, if with all the big threes we're seeing and the people teaming up, it's like if a free agent next year in free agency, I have a choice of going to play with Russell Westbrook or maybe like a Jimmy Butler in Miami or a Kawhi Leonard in LA if Kawhi Leonard re-signs. Like, those other options seem better than Westbrook, to where I don't think Westbrook has what it has to be like, yo, join me, let's win a ring.
That's because Jimmy
obviously
Butler is a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard is a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. Jimmy Butler's on a franchise as a whole that is better than the dumpster fire that has been the New York Knicks last 20 years. And obviously the Clippers, while they did move on from Doc, still have a very good front office in theory on what they're going to do going forward. And they still have obviously 2 top 15 players now. Paul George is kind of sliding in the back of my scale. 15, 20, somewhere in that range. I'm insulting him probably at this point, but I don't care.
Like, I agree with some of the stuff in Twitch chat. So we've got King says, GG, Westbrook won't win a ring unless he has 2 other stars. Mad Rogue also says, okay, so Kobe work ethic and similar selfish style, but not Kobe's production. Like,
yeah, he just put up a 30-10-10 season for like 2 years in a row. It's something that Oscar Robinson's the only man ever to have done before.
But
he's super selfish out there, guys. Like, are we watching the same player?
But that's the thing. I think that's where I'm coming from, where I'm not saying Russ is not a good player. I'm saying I don't think he has it to be the come with me, win a championship. And like the Knicks, you're dumb to not make this move. I'm not going on the side of don't make the move because I don't think Russ is going to win a ring. I just don't know if free agents are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go win a ring with Russ. I just don't think so. Russ, you could like a guy without thinking you can win with him.
I think Russ can win a bunch of games. I think he can get another star over there because he has the personality for New York.
Yeah,
he embodies the "I'm bigger than real life."
The fuck you attitude.
No, I'm saying he is his own brand. Russell Westbrook style. He got when you talk style in the NBA, Russell Westbrook is what 1, 2, like he's up there. He cares about his image. His public image means a lot to him. So himself as a brand in New York is a win. Himself himself working with the Knicks, making them bigger than they should be, kind of like Carmelo did. Like again, he's Carmelo but better because everything that he can do for you. He can force a bad team to a lot of wins, and then he can make a good team even better. Jimmy Butler, who would have said Jimmy Butler could carry a team with 4 rookies to an NBA Finals? No one. No one would have said that a year ago.
If I wasn't a pussy, I would have had it. Because I just had him losing to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. Even when we got to the finals, I said, man, I shouldn't have been a pussy and should have just said the Miami Heat will beat Boston, and I would have had them in the finals.
Like, point being, Jimmy Butler, no one would have said that, hey, he's going to take this team of basically ragtag pieces and leftovers and overperformers to the NBA Finals this year. So I wouldn't say he'll never get there because that's just dumb. It's honestly dumb to say out loud. Yeah,
but like you said, Jimmy's better than Westbrook, though. So like that's why, like,
Jimmy's a better team player than Westbrook because Jimmy has a work ethic that carries off the court. He has an infectious team vibe where it's like him working harder. If you're one of those guys, you have the culture buy-in. Yeah. He went to the right place. What happened in Chicago? He divided the team. He made rookies and younger kids hate him because they couldn't keep up.
Yet again, that was the ownership didn't treat that right either.
Again, what do you do with the Timberwolves? Split the team, pissed off kids, and could not win games. He dragged their lazy ass to the playoffs, but he could not win there because they didn't want to. What did he do with the fucking 76ers? Same thing. Lazy kids don't want to get on my page, and the front office doesn't buy in. He had to find the right home. Yeah. And that's what did it. So you can't tell me that
Russell Westbrook... Do you think New York's the right home, though?
That's the question to ask. Okay. That is where I was leading that.
Because to me, it's still going to the same answers.
Seen the ideal fit yet. You have to see what happens when Russell Westbrook is embraced by a franchise, and he hasn't been. He's always been the second son. Like it's always been. It was Kevin Durant's team, then it was James Harden's team. You know, when it was Russell Westbrook's team, it was really Paul George's team. Yeah. Like the plan has never been to build around him. That's why they had a team with a bunch of guys who couldn't shoot the fucking ball, with him out there pulling 30-point triple doubles. Because he's got no help. He's playing with fucking Andre Roberson out there and Abdel Nader. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, you didn't give him a chance to win games. He was dragging your ass, kicking and screaming as far as he could. So I think New York's a team that could build around him. They've got the money to build around him. Right now, they've got future assets. And again, they're going to have to give up something to get him. But like Tom Thibodeau with a bunch of players, does Russell Westbrook not have that early career comp to pretty much just a stronger Derrick Rose when he came into the league? Like they came in same time. They both had the explosive attack in the basket. Tom Thibodeau did pretty good things working around role players and Derrick Rose carrying an offense. Now, if you don't think that he can think up something similar, then again, I question what you're looking at.
No, my big question, because I agree with you, it's not a fact of I don't think Thibodeau could make it work. My big thing goes back to the original point of you look at Russ when it was him, KD, Harden, even just him and KD. Who was the number one? It was KD. You look at his time with the Rockets, and that was one where when they made that deal, Dave, I said this is not going to end well. Mainly because of the two play styles that they had were so similar. And we saw that. Dave, you were clamoring, James, why aren't you doing what you do? Just do what you were doing last year. Well, you can't when Russell Westbrook plays a similar style of
James Harden literally didn't fucking move off ball. He stood there like a goddamn statue. That was what killed them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have made it that far in the playoffs had Russell Westbrook not carried them from January, February into March, because James Harden at that point, I think, had shooting splits of like 32, 28, like.
Yeah, but we saw, like what I'm saying is we saw a different James Harden. The James Harden we saw with CP3 was a different James Harden with Russell Westbrook. And the James Harden we saw with Westbrook wasn't going to make it work to where my big question is if he goes to New York is the fact of can the Knicks bring in somebody that is either they either need to fit two things. One, they could be the number one for that team and complement Russ well, or even if Russ is the number one, how are they going to complement Russ? Russ can't do it on his own. I know everyone's going to say, well, nobody can do it on their own. Correct. It's just the fact of, do you think the Knicks can pull in a big name like when Kyrie and Kevin Durant went together? Or is it just going to be, hey, these two stars are good, but they're not. There, eh? Yeah, sorry. But like, is it going to be are you going to get Russ his LeBron or get him his D Wade? Or is it going to be, hey, we got you these veterans, they're good, but they're not they're not on your level or higher? Like, that's the question. And that's, I don't know what happens.
And again, that's why I think the ring argument is lazy. It's so much a matter of circumstances and things out of a player's control. There's only so much players can do on their own. If you have a bad coach, you have a bad front office, you're not put in a position to win a championship. Russell Westbrook is, again, a top 10 player now and probably a top 40 player of all time already. Like, he is an incredible and slept-on person.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think the Knicks could surround him with talent. I think that going forward, they will have money to spend because, again, their contract situation is great. They're going to have a shit ton of money in the offseason. The problem with New York is always who's going to sign there. Well, now that you've got a winning head coach in Tom Thibodeau, a player in Russell Westbrook who – again, you could if they could just, roll out an offense similar to what Bud did up there in fucking Milwaukee, couldn't hurt. They could pick up, like basically knockoff pieces for floor spacing and just play 4-out offense and let Russ drive, attack, create for others. And whenever he kicks out, you've got a plus 3-point shooter out there above league average shit. That would work really well. And again, we talked about how you need to space the floor for Russ to succeed. It's why they went to the small ball, because both Russ and James were attacking like, well, shit, Clint Capella, as great of a player he is, he's not helping us win games anymore because it's a net negative that he's blocking out the paint for us. So like, as long as they build correctly around him, Knicks 100%, if you have the opportunity to get a superstar, you take it, because guess what? Every time you talked about getting a superstar to land there, it hasn't taken. You have to make it happen yourself. You did it for Carmelo Anthony. Time to do it again.
Take destiny into your own hands, which I know we've talked about the Knicks a lot. The other team is the Clippers. To me, this is a team to where it's like, I almost agree with the articles out there that are like, it makes zero sense only because like to me, my question is, what do the Clippers offer if it's not Paul George and something? Like,
Will, Shamwet, and Pat Bev.
So the two offers I have in front of me from Clutch Points is the first one is Montrez, Lewis Williams, and Pat Bev. So that's number one. The second,
you call him Lewis Williams?
Lou Will.
Yeah, but you said Lewis.
Oh, I thought I said Lou Will.
I don't think I've ever heard of Lou Will referred to as Lewis.
I thought I said Lou Will. Sorry, I thought I said Lou Will. So Montrez, Lou Will, and what was the fucking other one? Pat Bev. So basically Pat Bev. That's why I said Lewis. They wrote down Lewis. That's why I said Lewis. Cause like, I'm like, no, I said Lou Will, but I read it like why would you fucking type Lewis Williams? Why would I even?
Ricky, that brings the question.
Yeah.
How good of a writer is this person?
Basically.
How valid is their info?
I'm putting this. I am putting this out there to give us a starting base. So. Sure. Montrez, Lou, Pat Bev.
Yep.
The other one is just Marcus Morris, Lou Will, Pat Bev. Like, that doesn't seem like enough for me. I'll take the Knicks deal. Well, I'll take the picks.
Well, that's the question, because obviously the Clippers have mortgaged off their future to get Paul George. So I think they would be at the point of 2027, which should be available to them now to sell out. So they could do a 2027 and pick swap seconds or just outright seconds, whatever it is. So, the value there is a little bit lower, but at the same time, you do get some guys, depending on what the direction of the team is.
Are any of these guys going to be included in that three-way deal for Rubio?
You don't need Rubio if you get Russell Westbrook.
Okay, good point. Lawyer.
So that's the question the Clippers have to ask themselves. If the Clippers want to get something cheaper, you can get Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Now, he is a better floor spacer, and he is a good passer. He knows his role in the offense. He can kind of get hot sometimes, but he's not going to be the guy to carry you on the court. Russell Westbrook can fucking carry. That boy, what team on back do?
Yeah.
And that is what they need, because Paul George is a fucking question mark. I don't know.
Does Russ want to play with Paul George again?
Yeah, they were good friends.
Okay. Like
they left on a good note. They were going fishing. They were having fun out there in OKC. Like, that was a business transaction.
Okay.
That was. As much as he had fun out there, I don't think Russ holds it against him. The same way Russ doesn't hold it against James Harden.
Oh.
I mean, he totally hates
it against KD.
I was like, wait. There is and will always be.
Why would he have beef though with James Harden though?
He doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he didn't have.
Oh, okay.
Because Harden left the team. I mean, it wasn't his choice technically.
The
traded,
team,
but so did
then I look as the team was like, we ain't gonna pay him. What is Harden supposed to go? Okay, I'll come back.
Pay him a cheap deal.
Yeah, he wanted to get his money. Like, that's what players do.
Yeah. So point being, if they want to go after someone who will give them the best shot to win a championship, move on from your 3-6 men who contribute absolutely jack shit to the playoffs. You can win enough regular season games with ring chasers and the three core of Kawhi, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook playing part-time, all three of them, to get into the playoffs. You need those three guys when the playoffs happen to put you over the hump, because Anthony Davis and LeBron James, just scary. Whatever they add back to that team the next year out of ring chasers plus potentially moving a Kyle Kuzma to get a better piece, scarier. Then you got the Warriors coming back with more. You got the Nuggets coming back with more. I mean, the top of the West is terrifying. So I think that if the Clippers are 100% in on a championship or bust season, you make the deal. But I think that the Knicks have the better offer.
Yeah.
So that's the question.
Even Twitch chat's saying that.
Yeah, I totally agree. King Me, is King Me Kingy, or are they totally different people? It's fucking with me.
No, I think they're the same.
Yeah, just make it sure.
I don't know. Maybe they're different. I think they are the same. I think King E and King Me are the same.
Gotcha. Point being, it's what direction do the Rockets think they're going? Because they said they were going to compete about 72 hours ago. They were going to run it back and compete. Now all of a sudden, Russell Westbrook wants out. James Harden gave you a list of teams. Is this a team that is just to the point where they're like, fuck it, we are scrapping everything. We are going to get 1 billion picks, and we're going to try to do what the Thunder did. Maybe they do. Maybe they can get back some interesting pieces and a bunch of picks and a bunch of young guys, and then they can get different people. Shit, what are the odds?
They are different people. Okay, King Me, are you a Knicks fan? We'll learn this live on the show. Is he a Knicks fan? That'd be weird. King E and King Me, and if they're both Knicks fans, that'd be fucking surreal. But go ahead. Go ahead, Dave. Continue your thought.
I don't even know where I left off, man. Don't know.
So
Rockets, where they go? Like that's the problem. Are they in a rebuild? Should they copy OKC? Flip their two superstars?
You can't be in a rebuild if you don't move Harden. Then you said it. You got to flip both of them.
Yeah, and then I mean, shit. Rocco has insane value out there for his deal. After we just watched him play, the 2, 3, the 4, and the 5 in a single game. I mean, he's a swatting machine. He gets steals all day. Like he's insanely valuable. PJ, insanely valuable. So, I mean, they've got a lot of great pieces. Just loves basketball, not a Knicks fan. Thumbs up, man.
Cool.
Good to know. Yeah, I think that the Rockets have a plethora of options going forward if they're just selling like crazy because they've got great pieces for a championship competing roster.
Yeah.
Anybody who's looking to be serious in the finals or to get to the finals wants a piece on that team. Like that's what Daryl Morey had done. He put together a bunch of amazing role pieces, and they shit the bed.
Is Daryl Morey the Sam Hinkie of the Houston Rockets? Except they won games.
No, because he didn't sell off everything.
No, but he put them in a spot to like be able to move on
Sam
without him.
Just if I pick a lot of bad,
it seems like the tank worked.
If I pick a lot of players at the top of the draft, am I going to be a good team?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's what Hinkie thought. Maybe.
Throw enough shit at the wall enough that's going to stick, right?
Daryl Morey went, how can I flip first round, like pick 20 through 31 for guys who can help me win games? And he did that.
By the way, speaking of the Sixers, did you see the cool thing about their city jerseys?
No.
If you look at, so they have like houses drawn on them. If you look at one of them, there is TTP in the drawing. And people are asking,
jersey for theirs this season. I like the orange star. It looks really clean.
I love the Sixer one because it has TTP on it. Dave, because of the Russell Westbrook news, we're going to bump the other two topics that we had, Kings and Sleepers, tomorrow.